Bienvenidos a todos los que nos acompañan de nuestra comunidad hispanohablante. Si usted necesita traducción al español, le invitamos que nos acompañe, y un miembro de personal está disponible para traducir a través de línea telefónica. Para unirse a la traducción ahora mismo, por favor marque al número 1-669-900-6833 con el número de identificación 889-5905 1042 y use la clave 094-080. Toda esta información la puede encontrar en nuestra página de internet del Distrito Escolar, visitando www.ssfusd.org y busque bajo la sección de School Board Meetings. Muchas gracias.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to call the meeting of the South San Francisco Unified School District Board of Trustees to order, reconvening into open session. Roll call, please.
Student trustee Wong,
Here.
trustee Shea,
Here.
trustee Murray,
Here.
trustee Richardson,
Present.
vice president Anthony,
Here.
president Lujan.
Present. Thank you. All right. And now I would like to invite Principal Briano to introduce our student who will be leading the Pledge of Allegiance.
All right, thank you. I believe it's on. Okay. All right, I'll hold it up. Are you ready? It's my honor to introduce Mr. Gary Cruz, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please stand and remove all caps. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's my honor to reintroduce Mr. Gary Cruz. Want to present you with this certificate.
You can be in the center. Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Principal Briano, and thank you, Gary, for leading us and starting our meeting in such a positive way. All right, next is our land acknowledgement statement. We acknowledge that the South San Francisco Unified School District is located on the unceded ancestral homeland of the Ramaytush Ohlone peoples, who are the original inhabitants of the San Francisco Peninsula. We wish to pay our respects by acknowledging the ancestors, elders, and relatives of the Ramaytush community, and by affirming their sovereign rights as First Peoples. Reporting out from closed session.
Nothing to report.
Thank you. Review of agenda. Are there any changes or additions to the agenda this evening? Not seeing a wealth of input, I think there are no changes. All right. This brings us to PTA council remarks.
Good evening, President Lujan, trustees, Superintendent Moore, members of the cabinet, and members of the community. I'm happy to be here tonight. My name is Lauren Kitchen, and I'm the president of the South San Francisco PTA Council. I'd like to start by thanking Mr. O and Trustee Shea for attending our PTA Council meeting this week. We always appreciate your support and your time. I'd also like to thank all the wonderful parent volunteers and PTA leaders in our school district. The vast majority of our volunteers have full-time jobs or often multiple jobs and still find time to dedicate to improving our school communities. We track their hours at each school, and volunteers provide thousands of hours, sometimes up to 10,000 hours a year. In high school, PTA changes from just the Parent-Teacher Association to the PTSA, the Parent-Teacher Student Association. Both of our high school PTSAs this year have made great efforts to incorporate student voices and find ways to support each other. And since El Camino is here tonight, I'd like to specifically spotlight the PTSA president, Cherie Alonso, and her dedicated board. They recently provided a beautiful staff charcuterie luncheon and added decorations and comforts to the staff lounge, including a coffee maker, pod starter set, a couch and comfortable chairs, board games, a book exchange table, and a photo board so staff can hang their own photos. Following the luncheon, the PTSA held an association meeting and heard from over 15 student club leaders. We learned about the variety of clubs focusing on things like service, fashion, animals, sports, community identities, and more. We are so impressed with our high school leaders. They are doing amazing work, and also our activities director, Dr. McDonald. So thank you to all our PTSA and PTA leaders. We're very grateful for you. And then finally, I'd like to share some activities that the PTAs are having this month. Bury had a glow dance last week with an under the sea theme and black light decorations. It was very cute. Tomorrow, Los Cerritos will have a movie night, and on Monday, they'll have their association meeting. They provided a luncheon for their staff in January as well. Ponderosa is having a kindness month in February, and we'll be having an association meeting on the 15th on Zoom and a restaurant night at Panda Express on the 16th. South City High School is supporting the drama department fundraisers. Unipro Sarah is having a readathon. Parkway had a career day yesterday, and they're doing a Seeds fundraiser in March. Skyline is selling candy grams for Valentine's Day. Martin is having a Giants tickets fundraiser, and they get some money back if you buy your Giants tickets through them. And many elementary schools are having book fairs and supporting teachers with meals during conference week. And also most units are hosting the principal at their meetings to go over the strategic plan and a portrait of a graduate. And we're happy to share that time with the board, the district. So that's my report. I'd be happy to take any questions. Otherwise, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions this evening? Thank you, Ms. Kitchen. Okay, item H, Staff Association Representative Remarks, beginning with the South San Francisco Federation of Adult Educators. Is Ms. Dews, she's not here this evening. Oh. Okay, we will transition into South San Francisco Classroom Teachers Association.
Good evening, Board Trustees, President Lujan, Cabinet members, and South San Francisco Unified School District community. My name is Sherry Giusti. I'm SSFUSD President. That stands for South San Francisco Classroom Teachers Association. I plan to talk tonight about a specific part of the SSFUSD Sunshine proposal that will be read by my colleague, Kyle Killeen, later in the meeting. But I had that kind of day where my preparation time disappeared with other tasks. With regards to school board time, that may be a good thing. I'll save that for another time. The Sunshine proposal, as you are aware, marks the beginning of the bargaining season, and we are excited to get going on these negotiations to address parts of the collective bargaining agreement that have not been changed or updated in quite some time. As you may know, Article 7, which is pay and benefits, is not open to negotiations for this coming year, but the rest of the articles in our contract are. This is why we have many articles listed. We feel that this is the time to focus on outdated or ambiguous language. And doing so will help prevent confusion on both sides of the table. I've invited educators to come to school board meetings to express situations that they hope to see improve here in SSFUSD, either for their careers or their students. So I thank you in advance for, one, listening to their thoughts and ideas, and two, taking these into consideration as we move forward in the bargaining process. I also urge you to approve the calendar proposal put forth by the calendar committee. Since the first proposal was not approved by SSF CTA, the calendar committee listened to the given feedback, most of which wanted a later starting date and a 10-week summer, and came up with the proposal you will vote on tonight. SSF CTA members voted to approve the proposal 76% to 24%. These calendars will recognize Indigenous Peoples' Day and Lunar New Year for the next 3 years. I was holding out for that all-important Groundhog Day holiday, but I think I was alone in that. Just kidding. For those of you who celebrate Lunar New Year or Super Bowl Sunday, have a great weekend.
Thank you so much, Ms. Giusti. Next, I'd like to invite California School Employees Association's Chapter 197.
Good evening, President Lujan, honorable trustees, honorable cabinet and community, and Superintendent Moore, sorry. I want to start out by speaking about negotiating on the calendars too. As soon as we'll be negotiating on the various 10, 11, 12-month work calendars with the district. Once that academic calendar has been set, then we'll have our CSEA ratification vote. On another note, I was driving past Sunshine Gardens Elementary today and I saw a large sign out front saying book fair. And it reminded me of our library media assistants who have been hoping to add an hour to their workday schedules for at least 3 years now. It started before COVID. When I first presented this to the district, I received overwhelming support from the teachers, especially at the elementary school level, saying how important their library media assistants are to their schools, and how they host many events like book fairs that encourage our students to read more, thereby increasing their reading literacy. So I'm hoping our school board members will encourage our district to consider the library media assistants who stay past their quitting time just to see our students learn and excel in reading. And that is my report. I wish our teachers the very best as they enter into negotiations. And I wish you all a wonderful 2024. Go school board, go SSFUSD, and go Niners. Take care.
Thank you, Ms. Malfatti. All right, this brings us to item J, items from the board. Are there any announcements, updates to the board calendar, or so sorry, I moved my agenda too quickly on my laptop. I'm going to go back to item I, which I skipped. Personnel Commission. Is there anything to report, Mr. Marwan?
Nothing to report other than that we will hold our next Personnel Commission meeting on Monday, February 12th, 2024 at 5:00 p.m. at the district office.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, now we'll go to item J. Items from the board. Are there any announcements, board calendar updates, or board committee reports? Trustee Richardson?
Thank you, President Lujan. I have one announcement for everyone that's here. If I wait till the end, nobody will hear it, but so here goes. Last year, our district bused a group of students and parents. Oye reimbursed us. As soon as the second flyer is distributed, we'll be registering to attend and hitch a ride with our families on the bus. I can't wait. I watched the video and it looks like an amazing program, inviting everyone, families and high school students, everyone actually, is invited to this event. It's going to be at Cañada College. And on March 23rd at Cañada College from 9 to 3 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you. The only other update is that the Joint Advisory Childcare Master Plan Committee met on Monday. Was it Monday? Yes, it was Monday. Met on Monday. And the committee continues to work on their recommendations. They will be bringing their final recommendations to the City Council on March 25th. And was it Tuesday? Tuesday, we had the city subcommittee meeting where we collaborated with the city on a few items. One of the topics of conversation was aligning registration, working across systems to align registration so it's a more seamless experience for parents. All right, and okay, so I think that captures all the announcements and brings us to item K, Superintendent's Report.
Thank you very much, President Lujan. So I wanted to start by taking the opportunity to welcome and introduce our new spring trustee, Jamie Wong, who is also the ASB president from El Camino. Trustee Wong, we are very excited to have you and to welcome you to the board this spring. We're looking forward to hearing your perspectives on items that come before the board. We wanted to say congratulations and know that we believe in you and we know that you are going to do an exemplary job. The next item is National School Counseling Week. So at the last school board meeting, our board enthusiastically adopted a resolution in support of Week of the School Counselor. This is the week of National School Counselors, and we have the opportunity to recognize our school counseling staff for the work that they do to support our students and families. Our district counseling vision for this school year is as follows. The counseling departments in South San Francisco Unified School District empower students to become self-confident advocates, equipped with the knowledge and skills to access resources and navigate challenges. Through cultivating resilience, self-awareness, and coping strategies, our students will become well-rounded individuals who advocate for themselves and others with empathy and kindness. Our high school counselors are currently guiding students through the course programming process to select their courses for the next school year based on their interests and post-secondary goals. They are also working with 12th grade students and families to support them in completing the free application for federal student aid, also known as the FAFSA, or the California DREAM Act application, so they can access financial aid for their post-secondary plans. Our middle school counselors are implementing career awareness and education lessons with students and will soon be starting to course program presentations to guide our middle school students through the selection of elective courses. Our wellness counselors are also leading their school's effort in addressing student wellness and support based on data collected from the Daybreak Universal Screener. We are truly so proud of the work of our school counselors and all that they're doing to help our students learn, thrive, navigate, and impact their communities in alignment with our portrait of a graduate. And then my last item, I just received this news and I wanted to make sure that I shared it. The Accrediting Commission for Schools, Western Association of Schools and Colleges, recently informed me that Baden High School, this incredible school, meets the WASC criteria for accreditation. And this accreditation status is based on all of the information provided by the school, including the school's report and satisfactory completion of the accreditation process. And so the commission has granted Baden with a 6-year accreditation status through June 30, 2030, with a mid-cycle visit during the 26-27 school year, which is incredible. So congratulations to Baden. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, this brings us to item L, student trustee reports, beginning with student trustee Wong.
All right. Good evening, board members, cabinet, and audience at home and audience present. My name is Jamie Wong, and I'm currently a junior serving as the ASB president at El Camino High School and the spring student trustee. Thank you to the board for having me up here, and I hope everyone has been well and staying safe from all the storms and power outages. Starting off, we held a memorable senior night on Friday, February 2nd, as both of our basketball teams won their games. The boys team secured a triumphant win, ending with the score of 62-49 in the annual hoops game against our rival, South City. Meanwhile, the girls team also brought home a win as well with a score of 46-38. A notable mention to Mariah Flores, a graduating senior who made it into the prestigious 1,000-point club, where she has scored over 1,000 points in her high school career. Congratulations to Mariah, and what a remarkable achievement. On the soccer field, our girls team dominated with an impressive 5-0 win, showcasing their talent and teamwork. As for the boys soccer team, their senior night is tomorrow night, and we're eagerly anticipating another exciting match. It's been an incredible evening celebrating our seniors and their achievements across various sports, and we are always happy to support them. We also want to do a special acknowledgement towards our wrestling team. As they held their senior night last week, the entire team has also made a huge win as multiple students have advanced to CCS. Congratulations to Nico Celentis, a freshman who placed first and won the Outstanding Wrestler Award for the lightweight division, James Newton Basalucci, who qualified for CCS by injury forfeit, Michael Shoili, a junior who placed first, Melina Lu Chin placing second, Mariah Lahender, who placed fourth, Aaliyah Rivera, who placed first, and Michael Cordero, a senior who placed fourth. So far, they have all gone undefeated and will continue on Saturday, February 10th, where they will all attend the CCS match. Good luck to our Colts, and we will continue to cheer them on. Our Jazz will also be attending a jazz festival called Essentially Ellington, held in Las Vegas next Wednesday from Wednesday, March 15th till Sunday, the 18th. The band has reached high achievement to qualify for this program, and they will be playing amongst other high-achieving bands in the West Coast. They will also be able to take master classes with some of the best musicians, ultimately continuing to grow our El Camino pride. Once again, good luck to our students and have fun. We'll be celebrating love and friendship with our Valentine's Day grams. From February 7th to the 13th, we'll be selling packages to spread joy. On the 14th, we will deliver the gifts, including our mini package for just $5, featuring a personalized card, mini animal plushie, and candy, or our deluxe package at $8, which includes everything from the mini package plus matching keychains and Hershey Kisses. This week marks Counselor Appreciation Week, and I would like to shout out all counselors. They're dedicated professionals who play a vital role in supporting our students, offering guidance, encouragement, and a listening ear during challenging times. To show our appreciation for their hard work, we organized a special breakfast bar generously donated by Panera, and students all came together to create a heartfelt poster signed by each student expressing our sincere appreciation for everything they have done. It is through their unwavering commitment and compassion that students thrive, and we are truly grateful for all that they do. Thank you to all counselors, and we appreciate you all so much. Last but not least, I want to quickly shout out my ASB leadership for attending today's board meeting, as it means a whole lot to me to have my peers support me and know that I appreciate each and every one of you. That concludes my report, and unless there are any questions or concerns, I'd like to thank you all for listening.
Are there any questions from my colleagues this evening? Thank you so much. All right, now I would like to invite student trustee Sergio.
Okay, good evening, board, cabinet, and community. My name is Ira Sergio, and I'm proudly representing South San Francisco High School as this year's ASB president and fall student trustee. This week and last week has been quite jam-packed for our ASB members, as this past Saturday, February 2nd, our Activities Commission hosted our annual Winter Ball themed Northern Lights at the Scenic Fair Lawn Room at Skyline College from 7 to 10 p.m. The venue was packed with students from all schools alike as they enjoyed a photo booth by Truly Memorable, finger foods, and amazing music, and provided by our South City alumni, Angelo Abalon. This night was a huge success for all, and ASB made a large amount of profits, which would go towards our Day on the Green event later on in the spring. As for this week, we invited all of our students to come play and take part in our board game Spirit Week this week. Each day of the week will include a bunch of fun prizes for our participating students to win. We kicked off Monday as Candyland, and our students who came to school dressed in their pajamas would receive free hot chocolate in the morning, which was perfect for the cold and rainy weather. Tuesday was Hungry Hungry Hippos Day, which allowed our students to bring anything but a backpack to school. We saw many backpacks in forms of grocery carts, TV boxes, suitcases, and more. The third period class with the most participation on this day will receive a free pizza party. Yesterday was Monopoly Day, and our students got to go to school in their finest business attire and had the chance to take their pictures in the quad. As for today, today was Guess Who Day, and many students arrived at school in their sports jerseys, and those who participated today were able to enter a free giveaway for a Milk Tea Lab gift card. Tomorrow will be Twister, so be sure to sport your class colors tomorrow. And as for our board game themed rally tomorrow, we have so many fun games and announcements in store for our students. I would like to recognize our MCs for tomorrow, Arthur Ventura and Gabriel Espino, for volunteering and helping to energize the crowd whilst all the fun happens. We'll feature performances from our cheer team, hip hop club, and a surprise performance from one of our students. We'll also be honoring all of our winter sports teams as their seasons come to a close. Our students will have the opportunity to compete with one another and play in games such as Tug of War and Hungry Hungry Hippos. The fun doesn't stop there, as we'll be announcing our prom venue, theme, and date at the rally with a special video, so be sure to stay tuned. Tomorrow, our heroes will be donating their blood at our annual blood drive, which will take place from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Our Bloody the Blood Drop mascot will be going around and picking students up from their classes and bringing them to the small gym. Many students and teachers alike will be donating blood to those in need and will have the opportunity to receive a free shirt and $20 gift card. This event is in collaboration with our Red Cross Club, and I would like to recognize Red Cross President and ASB Vice President Josephine Harsana for all of the hard work she has put into organizing, communicating, and making sure that this event is perfectly executed. Thank you for your relentless dedication. Our annual History Day competition took place last week. The theme this year was Turning Points in History. We had some outstanding presentations from our students with a variety of topics moving on to the county competition, ranging from the Monopoly Parker Brothers, Barbie, the atomic bomb, and so on. Congratulations to those who are advancing, and good job to all of our participating warriors. As for our sports teams, we've been celebrating the dedication and hard work our seniors have put into this winter season. ASB has been collaborating with some of our sports teams by decorating their fields or courts to help recognize them all. Our boys soccer team celebrated their annual senior night last Friday against Hillsdale and got to take home a victory for the Warriors. I would like to congratulate our boys soccer team for currently being in first place in the league and to congratulate all of their seniors for helping to make it happen. As for our boys basketball team and wonderful cheerleaders, we recognized their seniors in last night's game against Woodside. And as for our Lady Warriors, our seniors on the girls basketball team were recognized for their achievements on Tuesday in their game against Woodside. We'll also be recognizing the seniors on the girls soccer team today at their game against Cappuccino. I wish all our Lady Warriors the best of luck. Go Warriors. And as many of us know, February brings the start of Black History Month. I encourage the board and all to honor this month by finding ways to engage students and create safe spaces that best represent them and their part in history. I would also like to wish a happy Lunar New Year to all who will celebrate it this weekend. If there are any questions, that will be all for my report. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you so much. This now brings us to item M, public comments. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes per individual. Name and address cards are in the back of the room. And I will call upon individuals in random order who have requested to speak. Each person may only speak once and is requested to address the board from the podium. The meeting is recorded and streamed live. Individuals may address the board concerning school business not on the agenda, but public comment cannot be acted upon or discussed by the board unless placed on an agenda at a subsequent meeting in accordance with the law of the Brown Act. The board may request that staff respond to the public in person if possible. All right, my first card this evening is Paul Summers.
Great now. All right, very good. Good evening. Thank you for having me. My name is Paul Summers, and I've taught at Spruce for 10 years in the 4th grade. And tonight I'm here to advocate for smaller class sizes. I have 33 students in my class, including 3 students with an IEP, 5 newcomers, 20 English learners, and in the afternoon, I have an additional 2 pushed in from special ed, so that really takes me to 35. Better test scores are possible with smaller classes, but that's not what this is about. It's about teachers meeting all of the students' needs, which cannot be done in the current environment. Believe me, I have tried for the last 2 years, showing up every day at 6:30 in the morning, working weekends. Consider this. A large class size requires extra time to differentiate instruction, extra time to meet and confer and conference with students during the day, extra time to check for student understanding, extra time to help those who need it, extra time to deal with a wide variety of behaviors that arise, extra time to teach any given lessons or units, including science, which we're doing, extra time to administer assessments, extra time that just doesn't exist. It is a disservice to the students not to keep class sizes manageable so all the students can have their needs met. There's been a lot of talk about equity the last few years, as seen here by the mission statement, which I'm sure you're familiar with. The mission statement advocates that students can perform at an optimum level. They cannot perform at an optimal level in a large class size. So what is the solution? The solution is to reduce class sizes, have the district put their money where their mouth is. The district has millions of dollars in bond money and money from the state that they can spend. So I plead to you to reduce class sizes as a priority. Otherwise, the talk of equity really is hypocrisy. I urge you to do what's best for our students, because that is your job. Thank you for your attention.
Our next speaker this evening is Andrea Fernandez.
Good evening, board and cabinet members and South San Francisco community. My name is Andrea Fernandez, and I am an alumni of South San Francisco High School class of 2012. That's right. You're probably wondering, why am I here 12 years later? The answer is simple. I have a very special affinity for the Ballet Folclórico Alma de Mexico program. I've danced since I was 3 years old and all through my high school career, and even now. The Folclórico program was one of the highlights of my upbringing in South San Francisco. It helped me fulfill prerequisites to pursue higher education. Mr. Cruz and Mrs. Martinelli have put so much into the program and have filled the auditoriums during annual performances, and that attests to the hard work they've poured into this program. Me coming back and standing in front of all of you today, speaking publicly, is a testament of the profound impact this program has had on me, both personally and professionally. This is only one story of how the program has helped a student. But if we multiply that by all of the students, past and present, in the last 32 plus years, the strength lies in the numbers. I am here to ask that the board prioritizes granting the students an appropriate and dedicated learning space like they deserve. I've graduated, but I would love to see the continued improvements for future generations. I can't imagine having to do biology or chemistry outside of a lab facility or adequate classroom setting. Therefore, this Folclórico program does not deserve to have to do so either. Our Folclórico students need and deserve an appropriate learning space, a better learning condition. So let's put our money where our mouth is. They represent our community, our school, our district, and we need to do what's right. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker this evening is Rosemary Broman.
Good evening. My name is Rosemary Broman, and I'm a fifth grade teacher at Spruce Elementary as well. This is my 5th year at Spruce, but my 23rd year in teaching. I am here tonight to advocate for smaller class sizes, particularly in Title I schools supporting an underserved community. I describe myself as an experienced and passionate teacher who prides herself on knowing her students, creating class family, and teaching standards effectively. Whereas 5 years ago, pre-pandemic, I had 24 students. Now I have 32 fifth graders, and it is impossible for me to meet the educational and social emotional needs of each one of my students. While not individually exclusive, this year, I have 5 to 7 students who struggle daily with self-regulation and attention, 2 with behavioral challenges, serious behavioral challenges, 4 reading below first grade level, 2 newcomers, 23 English learners, only 8 at grade level in math, and only 9 at grade level in reading. This is not including the trauma, PTSD, and poverty that is present in many of my students' lives. This October, I wrote to my principal, "There isn't enough for me to go around. I can't attend to everybody's needs. I'm struggling. I need help." I have sought the help of our school's YSB counselor, the school psychologist, a district behaviorist, and the advice of countless teachers. But we are all stretched so thin, I get little direction. This is no one's fault. Many feel they're overbooked, overwhelmed, and to say it bluntly, over the struggle. In addition to having one of the largest class sizes, I also have the smallest classroom at Spruce. I've had to remove shelving, 1 work table, my desk, and 3 extra desks just to accommodate 30 fifth grade bodies. I am limited with seating charts, and students have little personal space. This results in poor choice behaviors, overstimulation, and lack of concentration. Students simply cannot function well in such limited space. If equity is what we are striving for, then a close study of class size is necessary. In closing, I have more than I can handle, and it's making me question my impact and my longevity in education. Please work with the CTA bargaining team. It is necessary that we have reasonable class caps per educator, physical spaces that promote quality education, and more help for the needs of our highly impacted student communities. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker, I'm hoping it's Michelle Nava. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. My name is Michelle Nava, and I am a South City High School alumni, class of 2016. I'm also a current member of Alma de Mexico Ballet Folklorico in the advanced evening class. And I'm also an educator. I work at Skyline College. So yes, I'm here to discuss a little bit about my experience in the program and why I believe the building of the dance studio should begin as soon as we can. When I began the program in high school, we were a very small group. We only had 3 levels, 2 classes, beginners and a combined intermediate advanced class. And our evening class was even smaller. It's incredible to see how much the program has grown. We have 5 high school classes with 180 students, all in their levels, and our evening class almost fills up the entire room. Our current location where we dance is in the cafeteria of the high school. And as much as we are incredibly grateful for the space, it is a cafeteria. There is food on the floor. There is tables that we need to move out of the way to have space. And the floors are just not meant for dance. I think all our dancers here can probably tell you that they've slipped at least once on that floor. Considering how much this group has grown and impacted our student population, as well as our community population, I believe it is valuable to begin the process of building the studio as soon as possible. Not only does this studio demonstrate to our students that we care about what they care about, as well as our cultural identity, it also shows our community that we care about creativity and exercise, and that it's important for our students, not just their academics, though I could argue that dance has academic learning as well. Not only has Alma de Mexico impacted our students, it's impacted our community and communities outside of our own. We all know as our students become adults and get increasingly busier lives, work, college, families to care for, it may become difficult to continue our interests and hobbies. The fact that we still have so many adults in our program speaks volumes. Our community has come to love and expect our performances every year, including our concerts and city hall performances. Our program is expanding to other communities as well, like our upcoming trip in March to Mexico. Our students need and deserve an appropriate learning space and better learning conditions. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is David Benavides.
Good now? Perfect. Good evening to you all. My name is David Benavides, and I've lived in South San Francisco for the last 30 plus years. I'm also a South San Francisco High School alumni, and I'm here to advocate for also Ballet Folclórico Alma de Mexico. My son is currently a senior in South San Francisco High School, and I'd like to briefly tell you about the positive and great benefits and impact that this group has. Besides my son, that is a senior, my previous two kids have also been part of this group, and this group has provided them a safe space, but also helped them develop character, and also, you know, keep them away from things that they shouldn't be thinking and doing. This program not only helps us as parents be grateful for having such a program and knowing that our kids are doing something they like, but also for them to look forward to go to practices. And I truly believe that they do deserve a better place for them to continue studying, for them to continue learning, and also for the program to stay alive as it's been since I was in high school. I know this program was already a part of the classes, and for future generations. I think it's something that I would like you all to really consider and keep it in your goals and your points. I would really love to see that happen. We've been waiting as parents also for about 4 years. I believe that there's an available space at the South San Francisco campus, and I think if you all really look at the positive impact that this program brings, I believe that they do deserve something more special for them and in a safer space for them to continue developing. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Daniel Pantoja.
The mic working? You guys hear me? Okay. Yeah. Good evening, President, board members, faculty, and families. My name is Daniel Aguiniga. I'm a current senior at South San Francisco High School, and I'm here representing Ballet Folclórico Alma de Mexico of South San Francisco High School. I have been a part of the Folclórico program for 4 years now. This program has not only taught me how to dance, but has taught me discipline, self-confidence, and a new perspective of other things as well. Mr. Martin Cruz has showed us many different perspectives of the Mexican culture and the significance behind all of these dances and the time dedicated towards these things. The only problem that comes along with this all is that we don't have a classroom for this program. As the district members have previously stated, a cafeteria is no place for a classroom, which is true. But after receiving the interruptions from students going to lockers, lunch ladies setting up for lunch, or even classes walking in while we are in session. How many years will it take for our dance studio to receive the recognition it deserves? We, the Folklorico students, deserve to be under a better learning environment and a better learning conditions. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Alicia Huerta.
Hello. Good evening. My name is Alicia Huerta. I'm a parent of 3 students from South San Francisco High School. I myself, I'm an alumni from 1985. All my siblings were there. Two of my children are dancers and participate in Ballet Folklorico, Alma de Mexico program. I'm here to ask the board for an update for the plans about the dance studio for the program that was promised a few years ago. This dedicated learning space will be extremely helpful and beneficial for the curriculum and the learning experience for our students. I ask that you please prioritize this project and continue to provide updates to all of us in a timely manner. Our students need and deserve an appropriate learning space and better learning conditions. And I think we need to look at safety first and foremost, okay? So thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Rachel Estrada.
Hello, it's on. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Tonight I will talk about advocating for class size caps. It is not acceptable that we have a class size average for our district, especially when there are Title I schools in the district that serve different populations of students than your other schools. Our district and our board preaches equity in all facets, in all discussions, announcements, professional developments, and all communication to the public. However, how is the class size average equitable in any way? I teach first grade at Spruce. Spruce is a Title I school. Last year, I had a total of 24 students, and at one point, I had 25. In that 25, I had 7 students with IEPs, which means 7 students with varieties of unique learning needs, including behavioral needs, social, emotional, speech and language, and students with autism. These students made over a quarter of my class. Try as I did, the reality was I was unable to meet all of my students' needs. I can speak for many of my colleagues when I say that my story is not unique, as you've heard from my colleagues. Every single one of my colleagues has a full classroom. The 4th and 5th grade teachers at my school have over 32 students in their classes, and they literally don't physically fit inside their rooms. A class size cap would mean that classrooms would not be overflowing. A class size cap would mean that teachers would be able to give their students the level of education they need and deserve. Students' social and emotional needs would be met. Here, I have a list of selected research studies that show the important impacts of lower class sizes for primary grades, including many on low income and minority students. You'll notice that this list is long. I've printed one out for each member of the board and have extras for anyone who wants one. But please also expect an email with a digital copy of this list as well. If you don't believe your district's teachers, perhaps you'll believe the research. Please work with the CTA's bargaining team to ensure that our class size cap number makes sense to our grade levels and one that considers your Title I schools. Only then will we be taking a step towards true equity in our district. These are for you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Catherine Levron.
Hi, everyone. My name's Catherine, and I'm here on behalf of Alma de Mexico, the folklore club at South San Francisco High School, regarding the production of our new dance room. I've been dancing folkloric since I was around 5 years old, and it's the main reason why I attended South San Francisco High School for all 4 years and graduated in 2018. Although I am Filipino and not of Hispanic background, this program has positively influenced my life since I've been given the opportunity to branch out our program to Mills High School with their Latina Mentor program as well. All in Mexico has always had the privilege of using the auditorium and school cafeteria for practice, but it would be more convenient for us to have our own space since our program only grows bigger each year. We are known throughout the Bay Area, and we're always asked to perform places starting from our annual concerts every December and May, from elementary schools around South San Francisco and places like the San Francisco Opera House as well. It would be really nice for us to finally have our own space to be private and not to get interrupted while practice is going on in the cafeteria during school hours. Not to mention how slippery the floors can be, not only because it's tile, but because there's always some kind of food on the floor and the stage we have is too small for the entire class to practice on. Hopefully we're able to get a new room soon because our students deserve a better and appropriate learning condition. Thank you.
Thank you. My last two cards are both yellow cards. So my wondering to Olivia, do you want to give your public comment now, or do you want me to wait until the item comes? Okay, and Raina, are you feeling the same way? Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, thank you for the comments this evening. Okay, our next item this evening brings us to our information only presentations. Our first presentation this evening is a teaching and learning presentation for El Camino High School.
Thank you, President Lujan. At this time, I'd like to introduce the principal of El Camino High School, Mr. James Briano. He is going to share academic data, progress, and all the great events that are happening at El Camino High School. Good evening, Principal Briano. I'll give you a minute to get situated.
First time I've received a round of applause for getting situated. All right, best getting situated I've ever done. Thank you, everybody. Much appreciated. Let's get this party started. Good evening, President Lujan, VP Anthony, and members of the board, cabinet, and the ECHS and South City community, and viewers at home. My name is James Briano. I'm the principal of El Camino High School. Down this one. I'll just hold it. All right. Thank you. Next year, I'll bring my own. I am the principal of El Camino High School. It is my great honor to walk you through our teaching and learning presentation this evening. These are district LCAP goals. I'll weave these 4 goals through the presentation this evening and show you how our local school SIPSA goals are aligned with them. This infographic illustrates our district-wide commitments to strengthening our systems and equity. In SSFUSD, we use the car metaphor to illustrate different components that are needed to guide our work to improve student outcomes. Today, I'm going to focus on the GPS, which is our goals, and the gas tank, checking student progress toward meeting those goals. ECS mission statement. Our mission statement was crafted with staff input in preparation for a 2019 WASC visit. It has guided our work for the past 5 years. I want to take just a moment to recognize the incredible instructional leadership team, which I may refer to as the ILT later at El Camino. It's primarily composed of department chairs who have actively guided the work we've accomplished at the school site. I want to thank these people. LCAP and SIPSA. The next 4 slides are information dense, Recognizing that the board and public received a copy of the presentation in advance, I'm gonna respect your time, and I'm just gonna touch on a few key points for you. LCAP Goal 1 focuses on academic achievement, which is what you see on the screen in blue. Our SSFUSD, all that text down there, mirrors this goal, and we use the lens of ensuring all students are college and career ready. SSFUSD Goal 2 focuses on professional development. For instance, this year, the ILT developed an equity-focused classroom walkthrough tool that's aligned with the 4 graduate aims: learn, thrive, navigate, and impact. SSFUSD Goal 3 focuses on engagement. I'm proud to report that attendance at PTSA meetings has increased in recent years, and we've partnered closely with PTSA President Cherie Alonso, who happens to be here this evening. Thank you. Through her leadership, the PTSA feels a lot less like a parent group and a lot more like what it's supposed to be. It's a parent, teacher, and student association, and we appreciate. This is our second year of LCAP Goal 4 implementation, which focuses on special education. We've expanded our scope this year. We're committed to ensuring every student on our campus is in the least restrictive environment. And finally, a brief thank you to the ECHS School Site Council for the work on the needs assessment and the SSFUSD. That's those folks you see here. The 4 slides you just saw are just encapsulate the essence of a 50-page document that was crafted over many months. And I want to thank these folks. You'll see a lot of student names on here for their time and their dedication. Student demographics. I want to point out in the bottom left of each section, I indicate SSFUSD goals. Examining and understanding student demographics is a fundamental aspect of achieving the objectives outlined in SSFUSD 3, which emphasizes student, parent, and community engagement. We're seeing a continuation of demographic trends at El Camino High School. You'll notice our Hispanic population has grown larger than our Filipino population, which first happened in 2019-2020. Our Hispanic population is now at 37% of our total population, and the Filipino population is roughly 32%. Incidentally, it's important to note that these terms I'm using are taken directly from state reports. They might not fully encompass the diversity and complexity of racial and ethnic identities on our campus and in our communities. California dashboard. This is a glimpse of what the public sees when they view the California school dashboard. The 2022-23 academic year represents a return to these color-coded indicators that we last saw way back in 2019. One way that I like to think about the value of the dashboard is to imagine my family relocating to a new area. When evaluating a school for my child, this tool would be my initial resource for assessing a school's performance. If I saw this, my first thought would be, this is a good school. This is where I want my daughter to attend. This is where I want to work. Before I get deeper, I want to congratulate the instructors, the paraprofessionals, clerical workers, parents, community members, cabinet, and board members for their support, and most importantly, the students, in particular, the class of 2024, for producing these outstanding results. This is how El Camino, the district, and the state of California performed on specific indicators. As you can see, ECHS outperformed the state in all metrics except suspension rates. Let's take a closer look at our standardized assessment results, those key results, starting with SBAC, English Language Arts, and literacy data from the class of 2024. I like to continually highlight the specific student groups we're focusing on for our community members. This table of disaggregated data shows how different subgroups performed in comparison to the state and the district. I want to simplify things a little bit and take just a higher level look at SBAC ELA results. 78% of all students met or exceeded standards, a result that exceeded our annual growth target and that we're phenomenally proud of. Delving a little bit deeper, we can see that a majority of students who didn't meet standards nearly met them, 14%. Our teams are tasked with determining how we can bridge those gaps. Finally, the comparison we find most important, how our current students are performing in relation to our own past performance. 2018-19 was the last time we had relevant data before the onset of the pandemic. Performance dropped in 21-22, and the class of 2024 improved a remarkable 18%. Now we're going to look at the math indicator. Math continues to be a focus at El Camino. It's worth noting that our class of 2024 trails the district ever so slightly, outperforms the state by 15 points, and demonstrated impressive year-over-year growth of over 28 points that you see down kind of in the middle in green. Let's do that high-level look at our SBAC math results again. In plain terms, nearly 42% of students met or exceeded state standards in math. Delving deeper, we see the ratio of nearly met to not met is about equal. And again, let's examine how our current students are performing in relation to our own past performance. Results have returned to 2017-18 levels and show a significant 8% increase over 2021-22. Our task is to continue that upward trajectory. I want to give you all a little peek at some of the data analysis we do when we're formulating an action plan at the site level to improve our performance. This is how the sausage gets made. There are 4 claims and targets that make up the SBAC math assessments. When we delve deeper into the data, we see that the class of 2024 experienced the most challenge with modeling and data analysis and communicating reasoning, which is what you see here on the screen. For both claims, approximately 61% of students were near the standard. That's huge. And that's a huge area of opportunity for us, and we're going after it. Our English learner progress. Our main focus for this indicator is progress at least one level. El Camino reached 58%, outperforming the state and exceeding our target rate of 55%. Now let's look at our suspension rate, where we presented some opportunities for growth. In 22-23, ECHS saw an increase in the suspension rates across almost all subgroups. 5.9% of all students were suspended at least once, which is the metric that we see on the dashboard. That's what they use. Although this is roughly the exact same rate as 2018-19, it represents a significant year-over-year increase from 21-22, when comparatively few students were suspended as we continued transitioning to in-person learning. Incidentally, our current suspension rate is about 3%, so I want our folks out here to make good choices. Continue to make good choices, please. We can do it. Couple more months. In 22-23, ECHS, am I on the right side? Let's see. I got a lot going on here. ECHS has an exceptionally high graduation rate of 98.6% for all students. Our goals are to maintain this high level of student achievement and to focus on the college and career readiness indicators as we've outlined in SSFUSD 1. 65% of our students of our exceptionally high number of graduates were designated prepared for college and career. For comparison, I present El Camino in Colt Red, South San Francisco Unified School District in District Blue, and the state of California in gold. On the left are the percentages of students in each group designated prepared. El Camino High School outperformed the state by 21 percentage points. I'm going to do some more data analysis. So again, in each group, that's El Camino in red on the left. The class of 2023 outperformed the state on all 3 metrics. Again, the grad rate, college and career preparedness, they're in the center, and UCCSU requirements met. You might notice a higher percentage met UC requirements than were deemed college and career ready by state indicators, which seems perhaps odd. I'm going to look at one way a graduate can demonstrate readiness. We start with those UCCSU requirements, and we see students must also satisfy at least one of 4 other conditions, which include performance on that SBAC English and math assessment. Those things count. Advanced placement, so I'm going to spend a bit of time on our AP program, which aligns with LCAP and SIPSA 1 and 2. We typically offer 12 advanced placement options per year. The highlighted science classes flip every other year, ensuring more students have access to a variety of AP courses. The percentage of sophomores, juniors, and seniors enrolled in AP classes, which takes into account fluctuations in overall enrollment. Our commitment to lowering the barriers to entry are clearly yielding results, with a 9% increase in enrollment this year. The percentage of AP students with at least one score of 3 or higher, although we experienced a little dip, the results are in line with global averages. And then here we have achievement trends for all AP exams taken. We can use these data along with data from the previous slide to help determine why some students are successful in one AP exam, but struggling in others. I want to briefly touch on social emotional learning, which aligns again with SIPSA 3. We are blessed to have a full-time wellness counselor on staff, Miss R in room 4. And I'm pleased to report that Miss R is collaborating with Miss Stevenson, an instructor, a wonderful instructor, to field a peer counseling class for students next year. Additionally, we have Miss L, who is our school safety advocate, who collaborates extensively with Miss R and the rest of the counseling and guidance team to support our students. Students have continued to experience success with various wellness groups on campus, and Miss R and Miss L both report enjoying running those groups. Community building and events, ASB leadership forges a new path. At El Camino High School, we seek to embody the spirit of care that is a district-wide focus, and I want to highlight community and authentic relationships. For the 2023-24 academic year, we're delving deeper into my vision of a community-oriented school. Our fantastic ASB leadership students have demonstrated incredible growth this year, and I'm in awe of the work they've accomplished making that vision a reality. I'd like to point out the alumni photo in the bottom left, which was taken during the Jim Cresta Memorial Car Show this fall, the incredible staff appreciation meal that was provided by the PTSA that's in the bottom right, spearheaded by the remarkable Rosie Gosse, who is here this evening as well, who spent several days totally revamping the staff lounge. In the top right, we have the Welcome Back to School Colts slide presentation that our leadership students put together really at the last minute. And it was so remarkable that they ended up presenting at a leadership conference. Our mini manifesto, be where you are supposed to be, do what you are supposed to do. And finally, I want to celebrate excellence among our staff, which we're good at doing at El Camino High School. The Crystal Colt Award started 3 years ago when a parent brought in a hefty crystal statue of a horse. I've recently learned they acquired that statue at an ECHS event many years ago. As a staff, we developed the Crystal Colt Award. Each quarter of the school year, one staff member is nominated by peers to receive the coveted award. At the end of each academic year, students and staff all vote for one certificated and one classified staff member to receive the Staff Excellence Crystal Colt Award, and their names are immortalized on the Staff Excellence plaque. I've had the good fortune to work with all 4 of these remarkable colleagues for many years and consider myself truly blessed. Thank you, Megan Connery. Thank you, Ron Haynes. Thank you, Dr. Rachel McDonald. Thank you, Metasela Gonzalez. Additionally, I want to call out just one more thing. We're running out of time. Our VFW Teacher of the Year for 2023, Miss Marlise Ringsize. I had the good fortune of going to this event with her and her family. It was a remarkable experience. I'm proud of all the work that she's done. She earned this award. And finally, I want to thank just a few guests tonight. First of all, once again, Mr. Gary Cruz for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Well, we'll bring you back for the national anthem next. Ms. Cherie Alonso, our stellar PTSA president. Lauren, yeah, or do you want to, do you want to say? Lauren Kitchen, who has done so much for the entire community, but I want to highlight her work with the Music Boosters. Amber Junio, who not only manages the juggernaut that is Athletics Boosters, but finds time to surprise our staff with awesome treats. And I want to say I loved the chicken noodle soup that came in this week that surprised us. It was a chilly week and we very much appreciated it. Thank you. If I thank more folks by name, I'm going to leave too many out that deserve recognition. There are so many members of this community that I love, appreciate, respect, and admire. So I want to thank everyone, and go Colts. I have certificates. These folks, I believe, are going to come up for photos. Again, Ms. Cherie Alonso, Lauren Kitchen, and Amber Junio. Thank you all for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that presentation.
Principal Brianna, you might want to stay at the podium. There might be some questions or comments from our board members.
Trustee Richardson, did you have? Yep, go for it.
I want to thank Mr. Briano for his great presentation. I visited your school and it's everything you say. The kids are, and you brought your cheering squad. So it shows, the spirit shows, and I appreciate you, your time to come in and explain to us that we're one of the better schools in the whole county. Thank you.
Thank you, Principal Briano. Wonderful presentation, very detailed and very clear. And as you mentioned, as a community who, like when we moved in from St. Louis, Missouri 14 years ago, that dashboard was the one that we have been looking for. And as you mentioned, this is good school to be with. So thank you so much for the great work and always room for improvement. Really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I have a special attachment to El Camino because I graduated from El Camino many years ago, and all of my children graduated from El Camino many years ago. And so I love El Camino. But I want to thank you for the detailed report. And those test results are amazing. But I think that the bigger part of it is when you have a close-knit community like that, everybody does better. And you can tell that you have the whole package. And I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. I genuinely didn't think you'd get through that in 20 minutes, so bravo on that. Congratulations to our class of 2024 on outstanding results. I know that last year was really hard for suspensions and behavior just in general, so it's great to see that there's been improvement in culture and campus calmness. And just keep it up. I still love this motto. Be where you're supposed to be, do what you're supposed to do. I spoke at Career Day yesterday at Parkway and said something similar to this. So hopefully you get those Parkway students that are already thinking in that way.
The joy of going last is I just get to say thank you. Thank you so much. Really enjoyed it, your presentation, for all the community engagement, for everyone coming out. So thank you. You're free. Thank you. Okay. So our next, we have one other information only presentation, performance management, special education, and pupil personnel. I do want to just be transparent that we have to take a break at 8:30. My clock says 8:15 though. So I think everything I'm hearing is we'll be good.
All right. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Director Yakub, who oversees our special education department and also pupil personnel services, a valued member of the educational services team, leadership team. Good evening, Director Yakub.
Good evening, President Lujan, members of the board, cabinet, and those of our South San Francisco education community, both here tonight and those attending virtually. My name is Sabrina Yakub, and I serve as Director of Special Education and Pupil Personnel. And tonight is my annual Save the State presentation. Thank you so much. I'm going to hold it because it's okay. Here's my agenda for tonight's presentation. We'll start by grounding ourselves in our district goals, systems, and metrics before looking at some special education data. The first set being linked to our state and federal accountability measures, and then our program data. We will end by learning about our special education and program pupil personnel teams. Is this mic working? I'm so sorry. Okay. Trying to find the sweet spot with it. And now to ground ourselves with our, starting with our district goals and priorities. Tonight's presentation will focus on LCAP Goal 4. 2 years ago, we adopted this fourth goal for a couple of reasons. The first is because our students with IEPs scored in the lowest categories over multiple years in the academic achievement metric as seen on our California dashboard. The second is because our graduation rates with students with disabilities was lower than 70%. When I first started here 5 years ago and shared this data with you, I told you there was hope and that we could move the dial and improve outcomes of our students with disabilities. In my later slides, you will see the fruits of our labor when you see that we have shown improvement with our English language arts scores and in our graduation rates to the point where we currently are no longer in differentiated assistance with the county for special education. Yay! As we work through achieving our goals, we root ourselves in our CAR infographic as our system of improvement. Today, we'll be focusing on the engine by sharing data and progress. This slide holds our metrics. As part of developing the LCAP, as well as the annual updates to our 3-year plan, every LEA is expected to review its data annually, both our performance on state and local indicators, as well as our effectiveness of actions and strategies included in the LCAP. We use these metrics to determine progress towards achieving our targets and goals. And now to look at our special education data, starting with our state and federal accountability measures. Okay. I had a little animation. It went away somehow. So here we go. I don't know where it went. Let me look at one little thing. I am very sorry. Please don't hate me, Mr. Irish. In my little emergency moment over there, I pulled up last year's presentation. I couldn't.
I can pull it. I have it ready.
You want us to do it for you?
No, I got it. I just need to do it without embarrassment. There we go. Don't worry, the beginning is very similar. So we are all good. Very similar. There's nothing to worry about. I'm not going to make you watch that all over again, please. But I looked at that. I was like, that is not correct. Okay, my animation is gone. There we go. There we go. Okay, the California Department of Education conducts an annual review of our performance measures for special education departments district-wide or statewide. For each measure, there is a target districts are expected to meet. Districts that do not meet targets are required to engage in corrective actions in order to meet the criteria for each measure. These corrective actions are documented in what we refer to as our Special Education Plan, or SEP for short. At South San Francisco, we have a multidisciplinary team we call SEP, who works in subcommittees to address each area. Each subcommittee is led by a representative of our special education leadership team, who you will meet later tonight, but are in our audience. Do you guys mind please standing for one quick moment? Here is a sample listing of areas evaluated by the California Department of Education to determine if corrective actions are required. Those areas identified in our most current CDE letter from last March 2023 are listed here. In addition to all this, we conduct audits of services, compliance measures of IEPs, as well as survey parents. All this data is used to develop a special education plan to address areas found as needing improvement. When developing our special education plan to address target areas of growth, we root ourselves and align our work in our overarching goal as a department. That our IEPs are well-written and held on time, that we use caring and effective case management, and strong instructional practices that are evidence-based and in alignment with like programs in the least restrictive environment as close to their home school as possible. This and the next slide breaks down our department goal into 4 buckets I just shared on the previous slide to show which indicators we are looking to improve in alignment to which part of our goal it supports, our present levels of performance for each of those areas, the targets we are aiming for each area, or how we want to change our data. If there's been a change in our data from the previous year, and in what direction, green being the best, red being not the best, and what strategies adopted by the special education plan team to achieve those targets. Something I want to highlight on this slide is that we are making improvements with our engagement rates, as well as our LRE rates for the 0 to 40% indicator. In fact, for the LRE 0 to 40% indicator, we met our target, which is why it is green. This slide holds target areas of improvement related to achievement and strong instructional practices. The top and bottom row hold our preschool and graduation indicators, and sandwiched in between are school-age student achievement rates for ELA and math. Pre-K is a new indicator of which a plan is being built, so you'll see more data related to this next year. However, I must give kudos to Program Specialist Lee for her work coordinating pre-K this year and with rolling out Learning Without Tears, an evidence-based pre-K curriculum aligned to kinder readiness across all pre-K special education classrooms. Yes. Although we are still working to see improvement in our math and college career indicator rates, we have seen improvement in our English language arts rates, as well as our graduation rates. And now to move on to some special education program data. This slide was created to capture our continuum of service options across the district. Our work over the past few years developing the continuum services is almost complete, with the remaining work residing primarily at the secondary level to build our moderate severe continuum of services, as well as a moderate program at the elementary level. When I started here in June of 2019, we did not have the continuum of mild moderate services at all elementary schools. Mild moderate special day classes were only at 4 elementary sites: Ponderosa, Burry, Los Cerritos, and Spruce, which meant that students at our 5 other elementary sites required transportation to one of our 4 other schools in order to access services, and that those 4 schools that received students from the 5 other sites had a disproportionate number of students with IEPs when compared to our other schools. In the upcoming slides, you'll see this number has equalized. We built programs and provided related service provider supports so that schools were equipped to keep responsibility for their students and the services they require. I'm very proud about that little data point. I'm going to give myself a little applause for all of us. If it was just, it's just a little moment for you all. This slide shows our total special education enrollment data broken down by school level with a comparison to last year, as well as with October of 2019, when I first started at South San Francisco Unified School District, which also corresponds with the year we went to emergency closure due to the pandemic. The first row shares number of students with IEPs compared to the total number of students enrolled in that school or in that school level. For example, for elementary, you can see there's 575 students with IEPs out of the 3,551 elementary age students, which constitutes, and then second row is the percentage of the whole. So it's constitutes 16.3% of our elementary age students. And the last 3 rows show comparison with last year in 2019. When comparing to 2019, we have 151 more students overall and 20 less students in NPS county placements. When comparing to last year at the pre-K level, we have 22 less students, but we have 35 more students pending evaluations and 8 less students overall. Couple more data points. So we have more elementary and middle school students with IEPs than before, which constitute a higher percentage at the elementary level only, okay? More students, but at the elementary, it's a higher percentage. There's less students at the secondary level, but they constitute a higher percentage of the 12 population. The following slides will break that down further by school. Here are elementary school numbers. Overall, since 2019, there's 73 more elementary age students with IEPs, 28 more than last year. Where numbers and percentages went up since last year, we're at Bury, Junipero Serra, Martin, Skyline, and Sunshine Gardens. I've bolded that data right here to help you find it and put a little square. All those sites that went up in numbers, with the exception of Bury, which is going to be the outlier in what I'm about to share with you, are sites that did not historically have the full continuum of mild moderate services and required transferring their students to another site for those special day class services. You heard me talk about that just a second ago. That was pretty proud of. The site students were transported to were Los Cerritos, Ponderosa, Spruce, or Bury, all of which, with the exception of Bury here, did not rise in numbers, but instead stabilized since we ended our reliance on their continuum of services. As a result, our elementary sites are more proportionate when considering their general population and any specialized program at their site. So you can see specialized programs in the 3rd row, where each school, with the exception of Martin and Monteverde, has a specialized program. See, Bury has a mod, Junipero Serra houses our autism programs, Los Cerritos, our mod severe continuum. Same with Ponderosa, Skyline's got pre-K, Spruce has got pre-K, and Sunshine has our therapeutic program. Here are our middle school numbers. Overall numbers are higher by 16 students since 2019 and 6 since last year. Altaloma and Westboro numbers and percentages are overall higher. Parkway Heights, their number lowered, but is a higher percentage of the whole. Overall, at the secondary level, we have 19 less students from last year and 9 more since 2019. Again, I bolded any increases so you can spot them out. And now the final section of my presentation tonight. A tour through our special education and pupil personnel department. This org chart represents everyone in our department. The roles at the brown background are part of our district office leadership team that I pointed out earlier tonight, and I'm so lucky to have with me. They are designed to represent and ensure each role in our diverse group of professionals is considered and that teams have a direct contact available to support them in their specialty. It is important to note that we do not have an assistant director this year, and I want to express gratitude to the team tonight that I introduced for helping us get through by helping me pick up those pieces, with a big thank you to Program Specialist Lee and Berg for taking over ESY and pre-K. Thank you both for all you do, and thank you all for everything you do every day, all day, nights, weekends. every day. Thank you. Thank you. Let's start by turning the special education slide of this org chart. Related service providers deliver developmental, corrective, and other support services that are required to assist a child with a disability to benefit from special education. You can find them highlighted here in green and embedded in programs highlighted in gray. We have 73 related providers and are most diverse when looking at the range of disciplines. Special education teachers are our largest group of professionals. We have 89 certified and 300 classified educators. Together with our related service providers and the support of our general education counterparts, administrative and support staff, we ensure our students are learning and included. Now that I've fed you a rich diet of data, I want to share some points of pride. There are many things on the slide and not on a slide that we have to be proud of. I'm going to share 3 tonight. The first of which is what we've been able to do thanks to the team I keep pointing out there that I love so much. They tirelessly look for ways to ensure our members have access to meaningful professional development. Our TOSAs, vital to our work, ensure that we have a robust professional development plan focused on strong instructional practices and lead the way with supporting all our schools and adult age special education teachers in implementation of evidence-based practices. Our program management and POSA team, which encompasses coordinators, program specialists, and POSA, ensure our specialists and pre-K teachers have the same robust access to professional development that is aligned with their specialty. A point of pride in this work that I do want to highlight is our Spire biannual in-person coaching sessions, whereas teachers from Spire model, observe, and coach each lessons, as well as provide a follow-up coaching session for all of our English language arts teachers. The second point of pride I want to talk about is the rollout of our AB 181 special education diploma, which allows eligible students the option of a special education diploma instead of a certificate completion. Students eligible for this diploma constitute 1% of our student population, with eligibility determined based on whether the student requires modifications to the standards that require an alternative curriculum that would lead to a COC, and that the student has been made eligible and taken the California Alternative Assessment. The last point of pride I want to highlight is the rollout of accessible tutoring for students with disabilities in partnership with AIR tutors. Eligible students are provided dedicated weekly individualized tutoring virtually after school. The final 2 slides in this section hold many, but not all of our other points of pride: the teachers, the paras, and all of the related providers. Here are some of them from our NAP session on January 29th. And here are some photos from those specialized sessions we had for our diverse teams. And now onto the people personnel side of my life.
I apologize, Director Yakub.
Yeah, am I over?
We are at 8:30, so we're going to have to pause.
Well, you have 2 minutes. Can I do it?
We're past 8:30, so
Okay.
I'm sorry.
We'll stop at people
We'll stop
personnel.
at this
Welcome
time
back.
And we'll come back. So, yep,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
yep, thank you. So we're going to need to take 10 minutes for the transcriber, so we'll be back in 10 minutes. Thank you. Sorry.
Really?
two big things to take away. The people personnel side of my life. Okay, so we can find that side of my life in the green on this chart, and encompasses those supporting Section 504, counseling, and the health of our students. Our health team has been working very hard to support the medical needs of our students, with Mr. Berg serving as their point. Besides supporting our students with health plans, they work with the whole continuum of our student population, from processing their online registration or annual enrollment to coordinating dental screenings at our Title I schools. For those working to support Section 504 plans, I've been working in coordination with Coordinator Abbing to provide trainings and support. Same with AB 181 rollout as it impacts student schedules and course planning. And let us not move on without an appreciation for Coordinator Cervantes, who has wonderfully taken the lead in helping Coordinator Abbing, Dr. Hugh, and I in supporting our counselors as a whole with our monthly meetings. And in spirit of National Counselor Week, thank you to all of our counselors for all you do. And the final team to be highlighted tonight and showcased tonight is our parent group, CPAC. CPAC stands for Special Education Parent Advisory Committee. It's an important part of our department and allows us direct access to hear from our parent community and vice versa. Our next meeting is scheduled for this coming Tuesday, February 13th at 6:30 p.m. After that, we have our last meeting on April 16th. There's an RSV on our website right below the schedule to get the Zoom link if you'd like to attend. And that is all for my annual State of State on everything special education and people personnel. Thank you for your time tonight. Are there any questions I can answer or take down for follow-up? So, thank you.
Thank you so much for the presentation. I'd love to open it up to questions or comments from my fellow colleagues.
Yeah. First of all, thank you for the presentation. I appreciate that you have distributed our students across our district, because it really is important for parents to be able to send their kids to school near where they live. I also wanted to say that, I mean, I really like to see the work that we're doing in least restrictive environment and supporting our students, and making sure that they are treated not as differently, but as every other child that is in our school and in our classrooms. I also, wanted to take this time, last year, the Kent Awards were won by the special education team at Sunshine Gardens. And I know that that's a really wonderful model. And I hope that that's something that we are using in other school districts, in other places. And I'm also excited that we are having this MTSS coordinator, so we can help everybody with primary instruction. And then when we get to IEPs, then it's better. So thank you so much for the progress you're making. I know we've had a lot of more kids identified, and you've got a lot of kids in the queue. I hope that we get those students the support they need. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's my pleasure to do.
Yeah, I just want to thank you and your staff. You guys are doing amazing work, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, Director Yakub. Wonderful presentation. I so love your department goal. They are sweet, simple, and critical. So it's beautiful. And then how you do this dashboard, of course, those color are our management, PM. But how you organize it is very connected to your goal. So it's very clear from the big picture, and then within all your explanation to the detail. So you set the tone, and then for us to understand very easily. So thank you so much for your effort and your staff's hard work. Thank you.
My pleasure. It's our pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. This is Yakub. When you came here, we had big plans for our special ed department, and you got in there and worked. Then the COVID came, and then we don't know how we got through it, but I see many smiling faces when I go to Baden for the I forget the name.
ATP program.
The acronyms.
Yep.
But
Yep.
those students are so happy, and the staff is really so wonderful with them, patient, and they're very accommodating to them. And I just want to say I appreciate that really, because parents, I have not heard anything but praise for some of the things that they are able to do. I mean, I learned that they are involved in the Baden students are involved already in job training, and that it's so much mainstream now to have a person with differences. We don't even call them disabilities, but we want to call them strengths. But that it's really uplifting to see how hard your work, and especially I feel the IEP form has finally been deciphered. It seemed to be a very difficult paper, and parents were afraid because they sat and they've told me, I'm afraid to sign it. They want me to sign it. They want me to sign it. But you know what? That paper has so many broken down in so many ways that the parents, I believe, are pleased to see finally that there's something that they could put and be part of, instead of having to just go with what they wanted me to sign this and I had to sign it kind of attitude, because it brings them much closer. So for that, I've noticed a big change in our special ed department. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for coming to that meeting that you're referencing where we made the IEP. We demystified it. We went through the document, demystified it for our parents. And I love doing that. It shouldn't be a mystery.
I just also wanted to say shout out to our adult transition program team, because you guys have your fair this weekend too, right? And we don't have to host this year, which is nice.
Don't have to host. And we've got members. If there's 3 of you here, if you don't mind standing up, those involved, one of our teachers, our coordinator, and our school psychologist at the ATP program are here tonight. So, well, thank you, everyone. It's my pleasure to do what I do, and I know we and all of us love it, and we just strive to equalize the playing field for everyone. So, thank you. I'll see you next year.
Thank you so much. Okay. There are no items with potential action, so we will move to page 5, item P of our agenda, the consent agenda. The following items are submitted for board approval. One motion will authorize action for those items so designated. Are there any items that people would like questions on or pulled? Otherwise, I'll happily entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second. Oh, she's got it.
First by trustee Murray, second by, trustee Shea? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion carries 5-0. Okie dokie. Okay, so we're going to have a public hearing prior to commencing negotiations. California law, Government Code, Section 3547 requires that a school district and the exclusive employee representative present their respective proposals at a public hearing. We do have a hearing, so I'm going to pause our regular meeting and open up the public hearing. All right, and I have 2 comment cards. I would like to first invite Reina Mari Ungos up.
Hi, good evening, Board of Trustees, the community and the audience. I am Reina Marie Ungos. I am a J1 teacher, and I'm here to represent my co-J1 teachers. As part of the J1 teacher program, I would like to express our insight on how we would like to get your support so we could be part of the South San Francisco Unified School District for a longer time than what our program states. We would like the Board of Trustees to hear our reasons why, with sincerity, we are willing to take extra steps to stay and become long-term employee of the SSFUSD. In almost 2 years of teaching at Juniper Serra, I have seen students move up to the next grade level, progress towards their goals, and build relationship with their teachers and peers. As a special education teacher, I have witnessed how parents are happy to see their kids excited to go to school, or on some occasions refuse to go to school. But with confidence, parents will let us deal with the kids with trust. I've seen students excited to see their teachers and peers, and I've also seen them get confused when a different adult picks them up in from the front office to bring and assist them to their respective classrooms. Sharing the same experience with my other J1 teachers gets us all hopeful that the next teacher will build bonds and trust with the students and parents as we did. We hope that the next teachers will care for the welfare of the students will leave after 5 years and won't leave them in the middle of the school year, because with sad reality, there are teachers who would leave the students hanging in just 1 month of teaching them, or even in the middle of the school year without without notice. While we hope for this, we also hope that the school district, together with the Board of Trustees, will consider rehiring us after we complete our obligations, or can give us support while taking our chances to petition our treaty that we currently have. So we can stay not just for a few years, but until the school district requires or needs our service, which we are willingly will willingly give, not just for our sake, but especially for the community and the schools community. Thank you. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you so much for your comments. Olivia Pogorelskin.
Good evening. I'm speaking today not only in support of the Sunshine proposal, but to help the district get into the right mindset for their upcoming bargaining session. I have some visuals that I would like to share. This is a copy of our current salary schedule for teachers. You will notice a large swath of yellow. These are the teachers who, according to the San Mateo County Department of Housing and Urban Development, are classified as low income. To reach median status, a single household would have to make over $104,400. This is me over in the third column. It will currently take me 17 years to get out of low income status. For my colleagues who are over in the other columns, they're looking at 22 years. But what if I wasn't a single household? What if, like many people, I had a kid? If I was a single parent, I would have to jump over to the next step in the salary schedule and would have to work for 22 years to escape low income status. And for many of my colleagues, they would never have that opportunity. It only would get worse if I was a single parent to 2 kids. There would be no opportunity for me to get out of low income status. I share this with you because these are the images I want you to carry with you when you sit down at the bargaining table. I know that money is not up for discussion. The facts I shared with you today will not change. And I want you to sit with that many of your employees have been condemned to a life of low income status, and we aren't even fighting over this. So the question becomes, what are you going to do to help justify this? The union will be handing you a roadmap of how to make your teachers' financial reality more bearable. Now is the time to say yes. I want you running to that bargaining table, falling over yourselves to acquiesce to the simple improvements teachers are asking for. What's more, you should be coming to the table with additional things you've dreamed up to give us that aren't even on the proposal. I know that isn't how bargaining works, so I will leave you with growth mindset phrases. After all, I am a teacher. Instead of saying, these changes are too hard, try saying, this may take some time and effort, but we can do it. Rather than, I can't make this any better, try, I can always improve. And instead of just accepting how things currently are, ask yourself, is this really our best work? Because together, I know we can achieve more. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Seeing that I have no other cards, I'm going to close the public hearing. All right. Thank you. All right, and we resume our regularly scheduled meeting and transition into the action items for the evening. Our first action item this evening comes from Educational Services, approval of supplementary instructional materials. Any?
I don't really have anything to add unless the board has a question about any of the proposed supplemental materials.
Are there questions about the supplemental materials this evening?
I just want to say, I appreciate having the list of all the actual titles of what you're going to be, because honestly, I get, some parents have asked me and I don't know what kind of materials we're teaching them. So this is a good reference. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, do we have a motion?
So moved. Second?
First by Vice President Anthony, second by Trustee Shea. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Okay, motion carries 5-0. Our next item, 1B, approval of document tracking services, DTS contract for 24-25 school year.
Again, just for a quick summary, document tracking system is the organization and the platform that we use to hold all of our district LCAPs, our school safety plans, our school SIPSA plans. Any district or site plan that's required by the state of California, we partner with DTS. So I would ask the board to continue and approve the contract for the 24-25 school year. Thank you.
Thank you for the information. Are there any questions on this? All right, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
First by Trustee Murray, second by Vice President Anthony. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No? All right, motion carries 5-0. All right, this brings us to Human Resources. Our first item this evening, 2A, is approval of a variable term waiver. Are there any questions this evening? No? Okay. Then do we have a motion?
That was Mina.
Okay, so first by Trustee
Second.
Richardson, second by Vice President Anthony. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No, motion carries 5-0. Okay. Item 2B, adoption of instructional calendars for the next 3 school years. Do you have any questions on this item?
Can I have a comment?
By all means.
Thank you. I really appreciate the effort. This is not an easy task to get the consensus. So thank you so much for the team to work on this. So I move.
Second?
Okay, thank you. My mic was off. First by Trustee Shea, second by Trustee Murray. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No? All right, motion carries 5-0. Yippee. Okay, our next item 2C is approval of Director of Human Resources position and job description. Do we have any questions or comments on this item?
No, I mean, well, yes, I think it's a good role. I know that we could use this to manage a lot of the human resources topics. So I'm excited about it.
Absolutely. Thank you. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second? No, I mean, do we have a second? Not me seconding.
Second.
Second. First by Trustee Murray, second by Vice President Anthony. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Motion carries.
Can I make another comment? Sorry, I really appreciate the transparency for all the information provided, salary, steps, everything. So I really appreciate, and then the rationale is super support our strategic plan, our direction. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, transitioning into business services, approval of agreement with HED Architects for project assessment services at Los Cerritos Elementary School. Mr. O? Yeah.
Thank you, President Lujan. Yeah, I do have actually one change in on page 78. Yeah, we were focusing on the main part of the agreement proposal, and we didn't catch this at that page. Toward the bottom, it says on the last sentence, it says SFUSD is missing another F, SSFUSD. Yeah, I'm missing another S. And then right below that, accepted by, yeah, the contract, they didn't change it. Instead of PUSD, it should be SSFUSD. Yeah, we will, yeah, so I apologize for that. We were focusing on the main portion. We didn't catch that.
Thank you for the corrections. I'm glad they were caught before we approved it.
Yes. Thank you.
Awesome. And were there any questions or comments on this contract?
I do.
Yes, trustee Richardson.
Thank you. Just a quick question. I know that this is for Los Cerritos and it says so, but I was questioning, I didn't see anything, but I don't, this is why I'm asking, is there anything that's going to look into the plumbing? Because this is an old building and is this going to include that? I don't see it in the list.
Yeah, this agreement is for the architect to look through all the different items to assess the entire site. So
If you don't have it right now, you can tell me later, but
yeah,
I didn't see any indication of the scope of examining some of that. That's pretty old. It's got terracotta on it. It's real old.
Yeah, this is the proposal. Later on, we're gonna get the contract that kind of spells out more details. So this is like the high level proposal for the agreement.
Okay, because I didn't realize
Yeah.
if it needed its own, because plumbing tends to be pretty in.
It should be all included in the whole assessment of the site.
Mm-hmm. Did you see it? Assessment. Okay, thank you. Trustee Shay showed me
Is
the
that on here?
page and I
Page
didn't see it.
79, the
I
core
was
team,
looking
there's a
at
plumbing
the,
team.
Okay. Thanks, yes.
Well, it's just, I do. Thanks.
She's okay now.
Page
You okay?
79.
17.
Okay, thanks.
She showed me plumbing CMTA. I'm fine.
So
thank
I
you.
move.
Thank you all. Can I have a motion with the correction, with
So
the
moved with the name corrections.
wonderful, and then second? Okay, so first by trustee Murray, second by trustee Shay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, okay, motion carries 5-0. This brings us to the review of agenda, future agenda items and meetings. Are there any desired changes or glaring omissions from our upcoming meetings?
I'm so excited for our next meeting, the study session.
Yes, that will be good. That will be very good. Just remember, it's in the boardroom. You'll be sad if you're here. You will be by yourself. Okay, summary of board directives.
There are none.
Wonderful, thank you. All right, I would like to transition into good and welfare. And this evening, Dr. Moore, would you like to start good and welfare?
I would like to start good and welfare, and I'm going to actually defer my time. I want to give our CTA colleagues an opportunity just to read into the record their proposals, since we moved quickly during that time. Come on up, Mr. Killian.
Good evening. Can you hear me? Good. Good evening, Board of Trustees and Cabinet. My name is Kyle Killeen. I'm a member of the SSF CTA negotiating team, and we have our sunshine proposal. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but I will tell you there are 16 articles and 5 new articles that we would like to see brought into the agreement between the district and SSF CTA. I will read a couple of highlights. One would be Article 4. That would be association rights and unit member rights, where one of the things we would like to see there is more efficient communication between the district and unit members regarding pay and issues with placement on the salary schedule. Another would be Article 8, which would be teaching hours.
And again, the highlights for Article 8, we would like to add clear language to protect teacher prep time at all levels. Also, to more clearly define extra duties and other duties in the agreement, and also to set limits on the number of extra and other duties, and new language related to class coverage. And lastly, and most importantly, as you've already heard, class size is of huge importance and priority to us this session. Want to establish class size caps at all grade levels and total student contact maximums for educators, to establish caseload limits for special education teachers and/or caps on the number of students in special education classes, and to establish caseload limits for our counselors in the interest of better serving the needs of our students and giving each student the time and attention and support that they may need. So that is the highlights, and there's a lot more which you have, and you can read them at your leisure, but I just want to put special emphasis on those three. And as my colleague said earlier, prepare you all, get us all in the right mind frame for upcoming negotiations. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Looking to my fellow trustees, Trustee Richardson, would you like to start good and welfare, or I can start from the other direction? Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I attended on the 29th, the Common Sense Summit on America's Kids. I got a link from Trustee Anthony and I registered, and it was at Pier 39. It was a whole day affair, which was really interesting. A lot of speakers and famous people, among them Hillary Clinton was there, and Nicholas Kristof, the New York Times writer, columnist, and they delivered the information on how the state of children is in America and how it has been where it is today. And they're still struggling to get families and their children educated. The poverty issue is continuing. There are 22 million meals now have served across the nation, and it's an increase of 15%. So the Congress is really well aware of what's happening. And of course, we see that already, that we are providing for our for the children in our district 2 meals a day. Hillary Clinton presented the first Marion Edelman Award for the work that his name was Mr. Canada, who worked tirelessly in Harlem to lift those children out of poverty. And the conference also included ways to retain and train the new workers that are coming in to teach our transitional kindergarten, as we'll need more workers. And that was a really enlightening moment. Also, they were talking about the partnership that AI plays now in school, and everybody's talking about it. Pinterest CEO was also present, and he gave us a ways that we can become partners with AI and how to be a good global citizen, how to have our kids use text messages safely, because it's becoming really out of hand. And it was a wonderful conference at Pier 27 in San Francisco for a whole day. So I went one day, and the next day I went to the governor's budget, which everybody was fearing would cut a lot of money to the districts, but we're pretty much oh, gonna be all right. That's what I heard. And there wasn't too many drastic cuts or everything. So we're doing good because we're basic aid district, and that's saving us. And that's all I have to offer today.
Trustee Shay?
Okay, so I attended the city's subcommittee with Dana and Dr. Moore. It was an amazing meeting, lots of great information. That's it. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Trustee Murray?
I attended several San Mateo County School Board Association meetings. And two of the meetings, one was a meeting on Saturday. We had a legislative brunch and some of our legislators were there. And the thing that came up there, and then at another meeting that I attended today, a budget meeting for basic aid districts, was unfunded mandates. How we are being required to have transitional kindergarten, but we're not getting the money from the state in order to pay for the teachers, et cetera. So that was, one of the things that I did. I went to Parkway Middle School Career Day yesterday, thanks to Deanna Moreno, who puts this thing together every year. Dr. Moore was one of the presenters, and she had a ton of people. It was amazing, as it always is. And today I went to the Job Shadow Day at Genentech. And again, I've never been to that particular event, and it was amazing. All our kids, I'm just so in awe of the program that they're offering our biotech kids. I mean, what they learn, I think, in our classes, they learn how to work in a lab. But in going to this Job Shadow Day, they learn that there's so much more than just, mixing things together, whatever they do. And they learn that there are several other jobs that they can do. And there were 7 sections, and each section, the kids had like different simulations. So they were actually working on, putting together presentations, developing products, manufacturing products. One of my favorite was the manufacturing, where the first part was that they had to develop a filter to filter water. So they poured dirty water in and clean water, cloudy water came out. But then they were supposed to take that and make it scalable to a bigger thing. And they said that that's what they do, and making it scalable doesn't mean you just double what you've done. Anyway, it was, our kids were doing that. And it was, I enjoyed it so much. It was great. So that's pretty much it.
Thank you. Vice President Anthony?
I also went to Career Day yesterday, also as a speaker, and just really huge props to the whole team at Parkway for organizing that, especially Miss Moreno. She's a real treasure. I talked to 3 great groups of kids, and we got to know their interests. Every single one of them had at least, all but 3 had a thing that they were at least somewhat interested in as a career, and I was really excited about that. Go kids. But Genentech was really amazing today. The Future Lab, they had this Job Shadow Day. There were 7 stations, as Pat was saying. As somebody who studied chemistry and clearly did not go into chemistry, I thought it was a really wonderful program for showing that the skills that you learn in the lab are something that can be applicable to a lot of different professions, and the knowledge that you gain is something that you can use in a lot of different settings. I also want to give props to our marketing department for the class themselves, because they were creating marketing campaigns for a newly developed eye drop that could change your eye color for 30 days. And they came up with the most amazing slogan ever, which was, "No one will realize these aren't your real eyes." I was like, somebody should pay you guys for that. That was incredible. It was all the biotech 1 and 2 students, and then as well as 3 or 5 and 6, because 5 and 6 didn't get to go during the pandemic. So really, it was a group of over 100 children. Amazing. It was really amazing to see how they engaged with these careers, and I'm so excited.
Thank you, Vice President Anthony. This week, attended the Joint Advisory Child Care Council meeting and the city subcommittee meeting. Also attended the ledge update that Trustee Murray attended for the basic aid school districts. And then also I attended an informational session for a scholarship opportunity from the Silicon Valley Community Foundation for Latinos who are studying technology. There's $6,000 available a year. The grant is available, renewable for 3 times and includes a mentor. So I will get that information to Dr. Moore. It was a really cool opportunity. Students who graduate from our county are actually eligible. So I was kind of glad to join in on that. And I also would like to wish everyone a happy Lunar New Year. We are in that season. I hope families have a wonderful time celebrating. And for those of you who are watching the Super Bowl, I hope you enjoy the game this weekend. And with that, I'd like to adjourn.